Zebra 3. We're in pursuit of kidnapped Bay City kitties. We need no assistance and no backup. Bay City PD. Today, our call sign is Zebra 3 because we're in this Gran Torino, a replica from the legendary TV show and movie Starsky and Hutch. Let's get after it. Welcome back to Combustion Chamber. On today's episode, we have this awesome Gran Torino that is a replica of the Starsky and Hutch film and TV car. But before we get started with that today, I want to dedicate this episode to somebody very special, and his name is Jim. You've seen him on our show in his Trans Am, but he's actually standing right behind that camera because he has chosen to help us out on our show with all of these shoots. It's a lot of work, it's hot, as you can clearly see, and it's difficult work sometimes, but he's always here, he's always dedicated, and I want to dedicate this episode to you, Jim. Thank you for all your help. Now let's go check out this Starsky and Hutch car. Vic, thank you very much for being on the show today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
How did you go about getting this Starsky and Hutch Gran Torino?
Well, I built it. Had it built from the ground up. It used to be an old lady green car and all original. It's still almost all original except the paint job. It was a lot of hard work. It took a whole entire year to do.
Now, cars from the 70s aren't exactly known for being fast. This sounds great as well. What have you done to the engine?
The only thing that I did to the engine was I put a hefty cam in there, got a nice Edelbrock carb in there and some ceramic headers. That's it. Other than that, it's all stock.
What steps did you have to go through to make this an accurate replica?
Well, that's a really interesting story. Two of my closest friends, dear friends, Joe Caldwell and Steve Bordy, they're really big in the Starsky and Hutch community. They actually own car number 1 and car number 3, real ones from the TV show and from the movie. My buddy Joe, his car was the only car from my understanding, was the one that was not restored. It's original stripe, original color, original everything. They used that car to duplicate this one, down to the stripe, to the black stripe, everything. It's 100% accurate to the actual car.
How did they accurately match everything so well?
I'm not sure what it's called, but the cameras that take the paint codes, they used that for the color, and it took 10 hours just to duplicate the line, just to get the measurements, only took 10 hours to do. And then it took about another 10 hours just to get the stripe done properly to then get ready for paint.
Now there's something really unique on the interior of this car. You got to meet the cast of Starsky and Hutch.
I did. I got to meet him a couple times, but last year was the best. We met him in New Jersey. It was David Soul, Hutch, Paul Michael Glaser, Starsky, and Antonio Fargas, Huggy Bear, and got to meet to hang out with them, and they signed my glove box.
Of course, with a replica like this, you've got the light, you've got the look. You also have what we're wearing right now.
Yes.
Can you explain to the audience what we're wearing and what character it belongs to?
Well, you're wearing the Hutch gun, which is the Python, and I'm wearing Starsky's 9mm. That's what they used. Starsky was lefty, so I had to get it the left side. Everything's identical, from the badge, the guns. The holsters aren't exact. I couldn't find those. That's a little nerve-wracking for me, but everything is to the T, just some minor stuff that I changed on the car for my taste.
Why don't you say we get this on the road?
Let's do it.
So what kind of reaction do you get when you take this out to a show?
Amazing reaction. As soon as I'm pulling in, everybody just stops what they're doing, take out their cameras and start taking pictures, filming. People come up to me, like the older guys will come up and like, oh, thank you so much. You know, you just brought me back to my childhood. It was my favorite show when I was a kid, when I was 15, 16 years old. You know, they're the best. You know, but the reaction is great from everyone.
What did this car look like before you did this to it?
It was old lady green. Everything was green on it. And I called it old lady green because you just think of an old lady. The seats had that flower pattern on it, kind of 3D-ish. You could feel all the flowers. The pattern was just hideous. It looked kind of like the Exorcist vomit pea soup. I mean, it was just ugly, ugly, ugly. show, they originally were looking at a Camaro. They were looking for an old school Camaro. They didn't have a deal with Chevy or Dodge. They actually had a deal with Ford. The studio did. So that's how it came out to be a Gran Torino. And then they hired George Barris of the Batmobile fame, the General Lee. He's the one who made this.
He's designed some legendary movie cars, TV
yeah.
cars as well. I think he's done a lot more television than he did movies, but the Batmobile, this car, I mean, everything he's done, you know, you remember, it lives on forever.
Oh yeah. Even in those not so very well-known movies like the movie The Car, he did that one as well. And that was an old, I believe, a 69 Lincoln that they used for that. And he just put the doors higher, the windows thinner. This is an evil looking car.
One of the stars of the show did not like this car. Who was that and what did they not like about it?
It was actually Starsky, Paul Michael Glaser. He hated the car. As soon as he saw it, he said, it looks like a striped tomato. I'm gonna wreck that thing.
When Aaron Spelling walked us out into the parking lot and showed us the car, I turned to David and said, I'm gonna destroy that thing. That's the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wreck it.
He has said that he's tried to wreck it as many times as he could. He just hated the car. He called it a pig.
It was a pig. It was a pain in the ass. David hated it because it had a bench seat the first year, and every time I took a hard right, he ended up my lap. We didn't use seat belts in those days.
No power. It was just sluggish. It handled terrible. I mean, he hated the car. Till this day, he hates the car.
And I did. I tried all the time to wreck it. That car had more Bondo on it at the end of the series.
This is Zebra 3. We're in pursuit of kidnapped Bay City kitties. We need no assistance and no backup. Don't tell our women.
That was great.
Mind if I give it some gas?
No, go for it.
Lay down some extra power there. Bam!
Oh yeah. That's awesome, dude.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. You really broke the car in. I've been driving the car like a little bitch. I have. I've been driving the car like a little bitch. You broke the car in. Now I can really, really drive the car. Like Casey Porter fucking broke the car in. Now I could do it.
I've enjoyed a lot of the episodes we've created over the years. They've been all fun, but this was a special treat today. As you saw in the beginning of this episode, all the stuff we were doing, recreating scenes from the TV show and the movie, it was an absolute blast. I want to thank our guest Vic for bringing this car out here today and letting me drive it and hold these replicas and film this and that. It's been an absolute blast. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button and bell icon for instant notifications when we go live with new episodes such as this. So do it. Do it. Once again, we want to thank everybody for watching today. We are a completely independent operation, so if you want to support the show, check us out on Patreon. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you can't support us on Patreon, that's okay. Leave a comment, thumbs up, share with your friends. That definitely goes a long way. And one more thing, this is Zebra 3. We're on it.